What's going on, everybody? I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday afternoon so far. MYG Jeffy 85 here, and this is some interesting news that just dropped courtesy of Clutch Points from YahooSports.com, in that the Brooklyn Nets could look to pursue Bob Myers, the general manager of the Golden State Warriors, if Myers and the Warriors, right now Myers is on an expiring, he just finished up his contract with the Warriors as the general manager, and right now he and the Golden State Warriors are trying to see if they can work out a new extension. But if the Warriors can work out a new extension with Myers, he's going to be set to become a free agent, and the Nets will be in pursuit of Myers this upcoming summer. Very interesting points from Clutch Points. Very interesting points. Myers obviously has an incredible resume for what he's done since he became the general manager of the Golden State Warriors back in April of 2012, where he has since built together what you want to call it. It might not be a dynasty, but it's probably the closest thing to a dynasty. The fact that this team, starting in 2013 and 14, have won 4 championships, have been into the NBA Finals 6 times in that span from 2013-2014 until this past series. Obviously, he's the one that selected Steph Curry in the first round, as well as Klay Thompson and Draymond Green in the NBA drafts back then. And those 3 guys have now been developed into perennial. Steph Curry's going to be a Hall of Famer. Klay Thompson is playing like a Hall of Famer. And you could argue that Draymond Green will also be a Hall of Famer as well. And with this report coming out, obviously, if the Nets do choose to pursue Myers, if he does not work out an extension with the Golden State Warriors, what does this do with current general manager Sean Marks, who has right now got the vote of confidence from Nets owner Joe Tsai back earlier this year? But with the fact that Myers could become a free agent, might complicate things for the Nets, and could make somebody like Sean Marks available, and the Nets might decide to let go of Marks, who is reportedly, from multiple sources, was looking to reach. He did sign a contract extension back in July of 2022, but obviously after the disastrous season the Nets had this past year, with the whole Kevin Durant saga, with the whole Kyrie Irving issues, and obviously with the fact the team ended up having another failed first-round postseason appearance. Obviously, also, he's the one that made the trade with Ben Simmons for James Harden. We know how that's worked out. It's possible the Nets could look to move on from Sean Marks, who's been part of the tenure of this organization since 2015-2016 when he came over from the San Antonio Spurs, and for the most part in the beginning actually did a good job finding some solid talent along with Kenny Atkinson. Jacque Vaughn was also part of the organization at the time as an assistant coach. Did a very good job with the organization and potentially, doing what they have to do overall. But either way, what would this be a good move if the Nets end up bringing in bring in Bob Myers? Absolutely, it could be a good thing. Bob Myers has a resume on his shelf of what he's done previously, so I think it would actually be a good move if they bring in Bob Myers. He's obviously has a good eye on talent when it comes to the organization. Now, what would it cost to bring in somebody like Myers if, in fact, he doesn't come to some type of contract extension with the Warriors? And would this complicate things with Nets head coach Jacque Vaughn, who just signed a contract extension earlier this year with the Brooklyn Nets? And now, if you let go with somebody like Sean Marks, does that make Jacque Vaughn a lame duck head coach? Because Myers, if he is brought in, did not hire Jacque Vaughn. What does this do with this whole situation? This is definitely going to be something to monitor with the Brooklyn Nets in terms of Bob Myers and what could happen with Sean Marks, because of the fact that the Nets are right now in one of those weird positions as an organization, because of the fact they traded away two of their top players last year. They have a bunch of players that are, some of them are emerging stars, some restricted free agents, some unrestricted free agents, some moving pieces that could be on the roster, and with a team that has underperformed not once but twice in the playoffs the past couple of years. What is this organization going to do if, in fact, somebody like Myers is open to come into the organization and help rebuild this team from the bottom up? The Nets also made some other news yesterday as they hired Jay Hernandez, who was part of the Charlotte Hornets coaching staff back in 2018-2019 as an assistant coach under Jacque Vaughn's staff as effective on Monday, according to Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype. And Hernandez has been in the NBA for the past 9 seasons as an assistant head coach and having a hand in player development in parts of those 9 seasons. He's going to be taking over pretty much for the Thiago Splitter role that Splitter has been held with the Nets ever since he was part of Steve Nash's roster back in 2018-2019 when he was hired by the organization. And he was also part of the staff under tenures of Steve Clifford and James Borrego with the Charlotte Hornets at the time. And before landing in Charlotte, Hernandez was part of the coaching staff for the Orlando Magic from 2014 to 2018, and he crossed paths with Vaughn during the 2014-2015 season when Vaughn was entering his 3rd season as the head coach. Obviously, they have ties with one another, which is a good thing in terms of what the Nets are looking for in terms of a player developmental coach. And because he has, of course, it's a good tie that he's had with the Nets and Jacque Vaughn. And obviously, he's going to be taking over Splitter's role. And because he has experience coaching underneath Jacque Vaughn. He also is a native Long Islander in New York and has played for Hofstra University before playing professionally in Puerto Rico for 3 seasons. According to his bio and on the NBCA website, Brooklyn is still filling out its coaching staff after recently letting go of Igor Kokoskov, Thiago Splitter, and Brian O'Keefe. So obviously they've made one coaching hire right now, adding in Jay Hernandez to their coaching staff now, who is going to be the player developmental coach now under Jacque Vaughn going into the 2023-2024 NBA season. And now the Nets are going to look to see if they can fill out a couple more of the roles on the coaching staff going forward. So, just some Brooklyn Nets news that is breaking right now, with the Nets potentially looking at Bob Myers, the general manager since 2012-2013 with the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, we know the work that he's put together. Nets could look to pursue Bob Myers if he, in fact, does not reach a contract extension with the Warriors this summer. And he could be a guy the Nets could look to bring in as their future general manager. And that could put an interesting twist on the whole saga with Sean Marks, who is right now looking like a lame duck general manager at the moment. And the Nets obviously add an assistant coach to their organization, as they have hired former Charlotte Hornets assistant head coach under James Borrego and Steve Clifford, Jay Hernandez, to their coaching staff, and he will be in charge of player development in the Nets team coaching staff going into the 2023-2024 season. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and give a sub up to NYG Jeffy T85. More news, updates, and chatter surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. Turn on the bell for notifications of the next video or short dropping on the channel surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. If you want to leave a super thanks at the bottom of the video, would be greatly appreciated. Shows your appreciation for the content and myself as the content creator. And thank you guys always for the support that you always show. And let me know in the comment section what you think about the Brooklyn Nets potentially pursuing Golden State Warriors general manager Bob Myers as the future general manager of the team if he is not signed to a contract extension with the Warriors, the hiring of Jay Hernandez as the player developmental coach and his assistant coach under Jacque Vaughn for 2023-2024 NBA season, and who else the Nets could look to add to their coaching staff going into the next NBA season. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Take it easy, and let's go Brooklyn Nets. As always, all you gotta do is you gotta believe in those boys from Queens. All you gotta do is say it's a Nets world, and we're all just living in it.